What's happening, everyone? This is Terry O'Keefe from Colfax High School. Just wanted to go over a couple of things with you in Mastery Connect, some of the basics. What I'd like to show you today lives in the Assessments tab. So I'm at the Home tab, and what I would like to show you in Assessments is how to create an assessment. So in order to create an assessment, you got to click on this Assessments tab, and then either you can search assessments by different subject matter or that are created by either you, teachers you're following, teachers that are at your school or within your district. And then as you start to filter through how you would like to construct your test, there's a drop down menu here, and then there's some more choices for your assessment. You can either do a single standard or multi-standard test. You can do multiple choice, multiple select, grade by rubric, some mixed, open answer, some bubble sheet scoring, or true false questions. You can make it adjust the level of privacy, and then the scale, depending on how you're grading, can be either 3 or 4 tiered, and that's actually really important at the beginning of your assessment. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Add an Assessment. And so by doing that, I choose the type of assessment. Okay, I'm going to stay with formative assessment. Pick my subject, in this case math. Give this a title. All right, my standard by default is the California Common Core State Standards. And then some of you might have actually some custom standards that are within the Placer Union High School District. Okay, so, and then I choose a class. And I can either choose a class based on a tracker that I've already set up. I can assign an assessment to a curriculum map or to a specific course, right? If I'm teaching integrated math 2, for example, I would choose math 2. So since a lot of folks are working on creating this within a class, if you choose, say, integrated math 2, that will apply it to that curriculum map, which goes out to all sections of integrated math 2, rather than choosing, say, one course at a time. Okay, so I select my integrated math 2. I come up with a standard that's either single or multi-standard. So I'm just going to select multi-standard. If you want to do a quiz on one particular essential learning outcome within a standard, you would select that standard. Okay, so I have multi-standard, and then I'm just going to call this test 1 sample, and then I would write a description here, and then this next part, assessment source, you can either upload a file, PDF file, get it from your Google Docs, Dropbox. You can create a bubble sheet where students fill in the bubbles and they come up to your computer and they hold it up next to your computer and it scans it, much like they're getting groceries at the grocery store through a scanner. Or you can create or use a test bank. Certica is an item bank that's pretty fruitful. And then when you select that, you can either keep the privacy to yourself, the school, the district, and then as you choose your standards, you'll see this drop down has, for example, this standard HSN-CN.C8 has 12 items. So if I select that, and I look at all 12 items, it gives me the items broken down by multiple choice, okay, multiple choice with multiple response, drag and drop, so on and so forth. And then it also gives me the different depth of knowledge. So if I want to build my test, say, from simple to complex, I could start with DOK1 and go through the test bank that has DOK1. Now, there's not questions for every depth of knowledge level for every single standard. Okay, and then at this point here, you're selecting the green numbers and previewing the test items. And it's at this point, it's like shopping. Okay, and it gives you the test question, the correct answer, what standard it is, how many points it's currently worth, and the depth of knowledge, level of Bloom's taxonomy, and how difficult the question is. And then if you want that, you can say select item. And now that has been added to your test. And then you can scroll through, right, and until you find the right number of items, and it builds the test over here. So I'm going to take this item and add it, and then since it's been added, okay, I'm going to X out of it. Looks like there's 2 more items added. Now if I want to change my standard, let's say I want to go to a different standard, and I want to pick maybe a different type of answer. Here's one that's a text entry. So I click on that, and the level is low, applying. All right, so what is the coefficient in term 2? Type my answer here. So instead of multiple choice, it's a type in your short answer. So I add that item. Okay, so I go through and I build my test in that kind of fashion. And then once my test is built, you'll see on the right-hand side here, it tells me how many items are in my assessment. If I want to randomize it, I can click on that, and it will randomize my test. And then down below here, since this is a 3-tiered system, I have to choose the cut scores for mastery, exceeding mastery, and near mastery. So I would choose 3 exceeds mastery, 2 maybe is mastery, and then 1 would be near mastery. So this would be 1, 0, and 0. However you want to set this up. Then you click on Create Assessment. It generates the assessment, and you'll see at the end, it will give you a preview of your assessment. It will give you the questions on the side, how many points each is worth. Okay, you can edit the assessment, go back and oops, I need to add something else. If you want to add something else, that's fine. It walks you through the whole thing again. All right, you can do that. The other thing that you can also do when it comes time is you can distribute the exam. And we'll do another video on this, but in essence, basically, you can tell it where you want the exam to go. So if I wanted to go to Colfax High School and I click on this and I want it to just be given to this class, then I would select that class. Here there's only a choice for one class. But if I go to, say, I don't know, there's Del Oro and here's Forest Hill, everybody has an example of a class that they have called a tracker, so if I could assign that, now that's available to that particular set of trackers. And then I save it, and then there's some delivery options as far as the time when I can set it to be available to students. All right, so all that being said, that's just how you would create an assessment in Mastery Connect.